This is my 1972 750 Honda, and I haven't driven it since 1993 when I went to Little Rock, Arkansas. I took all back roads, all the way there and all the way back, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was about 500 or 600 miles of solid back roads, and the bike ran really good. But on the way back, I stopped at Quincy and got something to eat and filled up with gas, and it started raining like mad. And this old bike all of a sudden started running like it was running out of gas. On 2 cylinders, it didn't feel good. So I put my knees around the air cleaners. It has these individual can-ins, and sometimes the side draft would make it run erratic. But that wasn't the problem. And then I said, okay, it must be hitting reserve. So I kicked it into reserve. Well, that didn't fix it. So I drove in this garage here. When I finally got home, it was raining, and that was about 80 miles of not running right. And I shut the headlight off. There were no lights on in the garage. And I looked at the right side. And look at these 2 pipes. These pipes were white hot. I shut the headlights off, and I said, heck, who has the headlights still on? How come the lights are still on? So I got off the bike and I looked, and this is how bright they were. It looked just like fluorescent tubes. And I was running a product called Energy Release. And I believe if I didn't have that, the engine would have been blown. I wouldn't have made it home. The bike still started after that, but it only ran on 2 cylinders. The right 2 cylinders have 0 compression. But there's a long story after that, and we'll tell about that later. But this is the original bike, all original. Has original plastic on here, but this is coming off because look how loose it is. Look how loose. That thing's wore out. That's absolutely wore out. And I put silicone on the seats, and you can see it soaking in. It really needed it. I'm going to repaint the gas tank and put some flames on it. It's going to be all black again. And I'm going to put dual front disc on it. And I'll tell you, every bike I ever had with a single front disc didn't have enough power, unless you were down in the RD 350 stuff. But these old 750s are just too heavy. And here's my 550 over here. It's too heavy. One front brake just doesn't do the job. This here's a 1981 CB750. And it has fair front brakes, but with all that extra stuff, one front brake doesn't do the job. If you need to stop, you need to stop. Look how nice this was. This stayed in pretty good shape. But I have another front fender for it. This one has a dent. But that's really beautiful. I gave it away, and the guy, excuse my language, as soon as we put it on the trailer and I signed the title and gave it to him, I thought he had no money. And I gave it to him because he was broke, and he gave me a hard luck story. He had no transportation. And the second we put it on a trailer, he says he's doing me a big favor getting this piece of shit out of the front yard, out of my house, so I don't have to store it. And he was going to cut the neck off of it and make a go-kart, so a go-kart was running. And I gave him all the parts, and I told him I was going to fix it. I'd do all the labor. He just had to have someone lift the engine out of the frame because I'm disabled. I can't do that. So it never happened. I made him give it to me back years later.